Back to our top story now. We are taking stock of where Colorado Springs stands financially in its response to the coronavirus pandemic. Earlier today, the City Council spent hours hearing from staff about the money spent so far and the expenses yet to come. News Channel 13 Scott Harrison joins us live tonight to break down those numbers. And Scott, we understand so far Colorado Springs has fared pretty well.
Yeah, definitely so far so good, Bart. We've learned today that the city has spent around $1.5 million in payroll, operating, and contract expenses directly related to the pandemic. But it has received around $65 million, mostly from the federal government, for needs directly and indirectly connected to the impacts of the virus. And here's a closer look tonight at where that money's going. The biggest allocation of federal money to Colorado Springs during the COVID-19 crisis was announced Tuesday, $24 million from the FAA to the Springs Airport. And it can be used for operating expenses as well as to offset lost revenue, not just for direct virus impacts. The second biggest amount, $21 million, for transit services. It offsets decreased traffic on city buses and the elimination of fares, while covering increased cleaning and health protection for drivers and passengers. There's growing concern among municipalities that this coronavirus crisis will result in budget deficits next year. In fact, we heard that concern voiced in Pueblo Monday night when a city councilwoman said the budget there is expected to have a $9 million shortfall. Congress is currently discussing the possibility of financial assistance for local governments, but there are no specifics yet, and it's not something that anyone's counting on right now. That issue came up during Tuesday's council meeting in the Springs.
And our hope is that they will be able to combine that bill and get it moved forward. At this time, we don't know exactly what that's going to look like or when it's going to be. We're hoping sometime this week.
Council also learned that more than 600 small businesses have applied for $2 million in loans through the city's Survive and Thrive assistance program.
So what that represents today is really 75 small local businesses that in all likelihood will be allowed to survive and reopen once we are given the green light.
Overall, the city is getting funding from 6 federal agencies and 3 state or local agencies. About most of this federal money received by the city, there is no local matching amount required. We are live in Colorado Springs tonight. Scott Harrison, KRDO News Channel 13.